Welcome back to Houston Life. Winter is almost here, and while we are enjoying these cooler days, it can be really tough for our outside plants and for gardens to grow.
Yeah, but you absolutely can still enjoy your houseplants. Here with some easy tips to keep them thriving all winter long is the founder of Houston Plant Market, Kenny Nguyen. Welcome back to Houston Life. It's great to see you. I apologize to Kenny during the commercial break because I was bombarding him with questions about the plants. And before we get into the winter plant care, Kenny, for viewers who maybe are unaware, the Houston Plant Market, this is incredible what you started because there is a massive plant community in Houston, and what you did is essentially find a way to bring all these plant lovers together.
Yeah, it started during the pandemic, and a lot of people were in online communities, but they didn't have a way to actually meet up in person. So we started hosting these markets, and that allowed a lot of people to actually come out, meet people, and like build this huge community.
And what does this community do? Are you doing what Derek did during the break, just picking each other's brains, bragging about your latest plant installment? I mean, that's what's going on?
Yeah, it's like a support group. And so if you get a plant and you don't know how to take care of it, there's probably somebody in the community that knows how.
Yeah.
And so we do like workshops, we get together, talk about plants, and it's just a way to geek out with each other.
So we're seeing some of these pictures, and people have wonderful collections, and this is all part of the plant market that you really established here. That's so cool.
And it's growing every single year, is that right?
Oh my gosh, it's growing so quickly.
Okay, well, if you are a plant lover and you feel alone, trust me, people, you are not alone. There are plant lovers all over the Houston area. Let's talk a little bit, Kenny, about what you've brought on set with you today, including some of these these elephant ear plants you have.
Yes, elephant ears.
Gorgeous.
So there's a big misconception that you can't get new plants in the winter, that you shouldn't because they're not going to grow very well. But we're really lucky because we live in Houston, and the most important thing for most plants is actually just sunlight. Temperature, humidity, that doesn't matter as much as sunlight.
And we've got that.
Yeah,
we've got an
Houston,
abundance of
it's
sun.
year-round, just bright sun. Even when it's a little bit colder, the days don't get shorter here because we're closer to the equator.
Well, and isn't it true, though, Kenny, when you are selecting a plant, let's say you go to a local plant market, and again, Buchanan's or Cornelius, there's so many around town that have beautiful plants year-round. If you are a plant novice, how would you go about selecting a plant? Because some plants are sturdier than others.
Mm-hmm. So we have in the front here 3 different kinds of snake plants. You can feel that these are much thicker leaves. They have a waxy coating. Okay. So these are really resilient. So, you know, when you turn on the heating and warm, dry air is blowing on these, they don't get affected as much because
they're less susceptible.
I see.
The thing that people don't like is that they're very slow growers. And so it takes a long time to see some progress for all the work that you're putting in. But behind them, we have these elephant ears. And you see these leaves are much thinner. Mm-hmm. These are fast growers, but when there's a draft on these, it will affect the leaves. They'll lose some moisture through the leaves. And so these are a little bit more finicky. But right in the middle, we have like the perfect plant here. We have a pothos, and these are very fast growers. They're viners, and so you can see all these vines that it's putting out. But these have a really waxy coating, and so this helps them retain moisture in the wintertime. So if you forget to water, they're a little bit more forgiving. And then it also protects them against like drafts and low humidity.
So when you say drafts, this is something that would go outside.
So this is like when you turn your heater on, and you know the warm air's blowing. It's a lot drier than like the AC in the summertime.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Kenny, isn't it true though that also if you live in a home that maybe has older windows or maybe the louver style windows, plants, sometimes we think that we're doing the right thing for our plant by putting it closer to the window, but they can actually catch a draft being that close to the window, right?
Yeah, exactly. If you have like older windows and some of the cold air is coming through, you definitely want to set it back from the window by a few feet.
Okay.
But if you have a window that's pretty well insulated, the temperature difference isn't too big, and that plant will actually benefit a lot from being closer to the window and getting more sunlight. So it's just about, you know, if that window's getting drafty or if it's well insulated.
Okay, that last tip, by the way, about watering the plant, Tessa, is there a pen Tessa could take notes
No, I got it. When the pot is light, that's when you need to water it.
So
okay, I was reminded of that. Your mom told me, hey, might want to pick up that
This
pot.
is a good tip.
Feeling a little
so
light.
I can tell this plant was recently watered because it doesn't feel top heavy. The bottom does feel quite weighted. And that's one of your tips, right?
Yes, so if you like have a scale, a small scale, even like a kitchen scale, and you have
I have one of those.
Yeah, just wait until the plant dries out, weigh it, and then when you water it, you'll know, like, as it gets closer to that dry weight, you'll know that you need to water it again.
Perfect. Okay, I'm weighing the money plant. The money plant you got.
Tessa's desk plant today was light as a feather. Okay, you're going to show us how to actually propagate a
Yes.
plant, and this is fascinating. If you want to take one plant and make little clippings and create new plants, it's easier than we think, right?
This is a great thing to do over the winter time because by the time spring comes around, you have a bunch of new plants ready. You can share it with friends. You can make fill out a big pot and put it outside. And I actually have two different plants here.
Okay.
This is a snake plant, and there's several different ways to propagate different plants, but the snake plant, I'm just gonna pull it out here.
Okay.
And we're gonna see right here that there's already a baby plant that's ready to go.
Oh, look at that.
And people get very afraid to manhandle their plants.
Yeah.
They're afraid they're being too rough, but this, you can actually just try to get down as close as you can to the base.
Okay.
And you just break it off.
Wow, so it's okay to rip the roots like that then?
And it has roots. You see this little area here, that's where new roots will come from. So as long as it has some of that, it will grow new roots.
Wow.
And so, you would just take this, you would just get a new pot it in there, and it'll start to grow roots and it'll start to become its own plant.
And when it's a baby plant like this, it's extra critical to keep it watered, right? To keep
Yes,
those
exactly.
roots wet.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I think you said your mom taught you this tip that you can also just cut the leaf off
I
as
actually
well.
taught her the tip. That's okay.
To be clear. So you can also just cut the leaf off like this.
Okay.
And if you put this in water, it will actually start to grow roots out of the bottom and become its own plant as well.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
That sounds like a myth. That's true?
It really is incredible. It takes a
Okay.
little while, right?
It's
It takes a
longer.
few months.
Okay.
This is faster, but a way that you can actually speed it up is we have this pothos here. In order to cut these, you're gonna wanna point the newest leaf up. And so that's how you know which direction to cut it in.
Oh.
And we're gonna cut right above the next leaf. And so if you wanted to make several cuttings, you're just gonna keep cutting right above.
Oh.
And these actually create a rooting hormone as they're rooting in the water.
You're kidding.
Together.
And so you can just set it inside of water. And then
Okay.
as the roots come out, if you have something that grows a little bit slower like this, if you put it inside of the same cup, the rooting hormones actually help the slower plant grow faster.
Are you kidding me, Kenny?
Oh, wow.
Can I keep one of these? Because
There's
we
enough
need
to
our
go
snake
around.
plants.
No, look how much they grow. See, I
Yes,
want a wall that's just covered with this, but I gotta work on it. Gotta work on that
This
whole
is
watering
like a
thing.
magic plant,
It
Tessa.
is. It is. I love it. It's like got this full, thick head of hair.
Yeah, I picked this up from Eden Plant Company today. They're in
gorgeous.
Second Ward.
They're really, really beautiful. Hey, Kenny, we're out of time, but you do have some upcoming events. We're going to pop those on the screen right now. So, Houston Botanic Garden this Saturday, 10 a.m., and then, of course, second Saturdays in Second Ward. And Plant Miss Market at MKT, Sunday, December 17th. So, mark your calendars. Kenny Nguyen, Houston Plant Market, thank you so much for stopping by. These are really great tips.
Thank you so much.
Incredible.
This one's a game changer, too.
Incredible.
Helps
glad I could
other
share.
plants grow. All right, Kenny, thanks again. For more info, we do have a link on our website, HoustonLife.tv. Just look for that scene on Houston Life section.
I'll be clicking on that later. All right, still to come, holiday.